Hey there researchers, welcome to my channel. I'm Ishra Jahan Mahia and I'm thrilled to have you here. Have you ever wondered how companies measure your opinions and preferences? From choosing your favorite smartphone brand to deciding the best movie of the year, there's a science behind it. It's called scaling techniques. Whether you are a student, marketer or a researcher, understanding these techniques is a game changer. In this video, we will explore comparative and non-comparative scaling techniques, your ultimate toolkit for transforming opinions into measurable data. So, stick with me because by the end of this 10-minute guide, you will know exactly how to design surveys like a pro. So, let's get started. First thing first, what is scaling? Imagine you are trying to measure something intangible, like how much someone loves chocolate. You can't weigh it or count it, right? That's where scaling steps in. Scaling assigns numbers to opinions, attitudes, or concepts so we can analyze them quantitatively. Think of it as a ruler for emotions and preferences. It's used in research, marketing, and psychology to understand people's preferences and behaviors. Simply put, it helps convert subjective choices into measurable data. Scaling is classified into two types: comparative scaling techniques and non-comparative scaling techniques. Let's explore these two types in detail. So first we have comparative scaling techniques. Comparative scaling technique is all about making choices between two or more options. Respondents don't give absolute rating but express a preference. Imagine you are judging a talent show. You compare contestants side by side, right? That's exactly how this works. Here are the three types of comparative scaling method: paired comparison, rank order, and constant sum. Let's break down the three most common types. So first we have paired comparison. In this technique, people compare two items at a time and pick one based on a specific criterion. This method helps to compare two objects on preference order but doesn't show how much better one is than the other. For example, choosing between Arom and Pran Dairy based on price, packaging, and taste. Imagine being asked which milk tastes better, Arom or Pran. Simple, but it doesn't tell you how much better one is. Next we have rank order. Here, respondents are given multiple objects and asked to rank them in order of preferences. It's quick, easy, and widely used in market research. For example, think about ranking mobile phone brands from the table. There are Nokia, Motorola, Apple, Samsung, LG, Sony, Symphony. Your number one choice might depend on affordability or user experience. Rank order scaling helps businesses analyze market trends based on what customers prioritize. And finally, we have constant sum, where respondents allocate a fixed number of points among different options based on importance. If the object is not important, they can assign 0, while the most important object can receive the highest points, where the total fixed point is 100. Imagine you are given 100 points to distribute among different factors of a movie, like story, music, and cinematography. The advantage of this method is that it provides detailed comparisons quickly. However, it may be confusing if too many objects are involved, and this method is not suitable for illiterate respondents or children as it requires numerical allocation. So, comparative scales are ordinal. They show order, not exact differences. Now, let's talk about non-comparative scalings. In non-comparative scaling technique, instead of comparing items, respondents evaluate each one independently. Think of it like rating each dish at a food festival. No comparisons, just pure feedback. These techniques help measure how strongly someone feels about something. In this scaling technique, data is usually in interval scale. Some of the commonly used non-comparative scaling techniques are continuous rating scale, itemized rating scale, category scale, and cumulative scale. So first we have continuous rating scale, also known as graphic scale, where respondents mark their rating on a continuous line. For example, rating magazine quality from most to least on various attributes on a 0 to 100 scale. Next we have itemized rating scale, where respondents select from predefined categories that includes numbers or descriptions. The commonly used itemized rating scales are Likert scale, semantic differential scale, and staple scale. So, Likert scale, also known as summated scale, is one of the most widely used technique to measure attitude. Respondents indicate their level of agreement on a 5-point scale using options like strongly agree, undecided, disagree, or strongly disagree. Each responses are given a score typically from 1 to 5, where 1 indicates the least favorable attitude and 5 indicates the most favorable. The total score is calculated by multiplying the number of statements by the assigned response value, determining the range from least to most favorable. For example, a statement, "I feel a sense of purpose in life." Respondents will choose their level of agreement from strongly agree to strongly disagree. The advantages of this scale are: it is easy to construct and analyze, it is reliable since respondents answer multiple related statements, it is quick and widely accepted in research, and it takes less time to construct. However, this scale has some limitations, like it doesn't measure the degree of differences, it is limited to an ordinal scale structure, and the total score may lack clear meaning due to various response patterns. Next, we have semantic differential scale, which is a 7-point scale that measures opinions by placing an object between two opposite qualities, like modern versus old-fashioned or reliable versus unreliable. It helps compare brands and products in an insightful way. It usually ranges from -3 to +3 or 1 to 7. For example, rating a magazine as easy to read versus hard to read on a 7-point scale. The advantages of this scale are: it is efficient for gathering attitudes quickly, it provides a visual comparison of concepts, it is a standardized technique that can be easily repeated. And the limitation is this technique avoids many of the response distortion issues. Third, we have staple scale, a single criterion scale with a range from -5 to +5 without a neutral point. This scale is typically presented vertically, where negative rating indicates undesirability of an object and positive ratings indicate the appropriateness of an object. For example, rating a store's service quality or product quality, where +5 represents excellent service or product and -5 represents poor service or product. Now, the third type of non-comparative scaling technique is category scale, where respondents select from fixed options, often used yes or no. The advantages of this scale are: the instructions are simple, responses are quick, and multiple options can be included. For example, do you own a phone? Yes or no. And finally, we have cumulative or Gutman scale. This method is structured so that if you agree with one statement, you are likely to agree with the preceding ones. In this example, if a person agrees with statement 3, they are also likely to agree with statement 2 and 1. A respondent's score is calculated by counting the number of statements they respond to favorably. Based on the total score, it is possible to estimate how the respondent answered each individual statement in the cumulative scale. This helps researchers understand the intensity of attitudes towards social groups. The advantages of this scale are: it measures a single dimension of attitude effectively, it avoids researcher bias in scale development as it is determined by respondent replies. And the limitations are: it is rarely perfect in real-world scenarios, and it is more complex and time-consuming to develop compared to other scaling methods. So, to sum up, scaling techniques are crucial in research and marketing to quantify subjective opinions. We have explored two main types: comparative scaling, which involves ranking or comparing objects, and non-comparative scaling, where objects are measured independently. Each technique has its strengths and weaknesses, but together they help businesses and researchers make informed decisions. Understanding these methods allow us to better interpret surveys and data in our daily lives. And that's a wrap. We have covered the essentials of scaling techniques. Your key to unlocking powerful insights from surveys and research. Now, I would love to hear from you. What's the most creative way you have used scaling? Do you have any questions? Drop your thoughts and questions in the comment box below. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more research tips. And hit the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. Thanks for watching. See you next time.